So let's find our sit bones, and we'll draw it nice and tall through the crown. And close your eyes, take a minute to just drop in. And notice, where's your chin? Draw that head back over the shoulders. So as we sink into our sit bones and we lift up through the pelvic floor, grow long through the crown, imagine that I'm coming around and touching the top of your head and just letting my leg come up against your spine, encouraging you to grow tall and long, softening out of your shoulders. And take a minute to let the jaw go. Let it move side to side. And then gently allow your mouth to close, but the teeth to stay soft. So teeth staying soft is really about no clenching. Just allowing the jaw to sort of hang free. And find your breath. And notice how the air is moving in and out. Does the air move freely and easily? Is it choppy? Maybe it's not moving at all. Just notice. Now bring your attention down to your pelvis. Notice how the sit bones are connecting to the earth, whether it's your blanket or your mat, or the floor. But notice how they anchor down into the earth. And begin to feel the femurs, the top of your legs, also what we call our hips, begin to roll open and soften. Notice if there's holding there. Often if there's clenching in the jaw, there's holding in the hips. What would it feel like to just allow them to soften and open? And feel the ease that comes with that, allowing the openness, the ease that follows in the knees, and then the ankles. And bring your attention back to the breath, or in my case, the lack of breath. And there's no judgment, just notice it. And then notice what it feels like to take a nice long inhale. And a nice long exhale. And again, inhaling all the way to the bottom of the lungs. And exhaling out all the way from the bottom of the lungs. So we're not only bringing the air all the way into the lungs, we're inviting it to leave the lungs also. So begin to even this breath out so that you're inhaling for 3, 2, 1, and exhaling for 3, 2, 1. And your drawing out between the numbers might be longer or shorter than mine. Find your own rhythm. Find your own pace. Invite The Ujjayi breath in. Notice what's happening in the mind as you've been asked to be still and to focus on your breath. This is when the monkey loves to become super active, bouncing off the walls, kind of like a 3 or 4-year-old trying to get your attention because you've asked it to be still. So thank the monkey, give it a hug, and ask it to go in the other room. So that even though the chatter is still going on, your attention will be on your breath. On the next inhale, we're gonna bring our arms into the breath, inhaling them up, turning the palms away from each other, exhaling them down. Again, inhaling them up. So seated half sun salutations with no bow, just the arms. Opening and closing the arms, warming the shoulders up. Notice what's happening in the neck. Sometimes when we invite the shoulders to come into play, the neck really tightens up. So bring those shoulders down, even though the arms are coming up. We're gonna do 3 more, follow your breath. So we've got a couple things happening here. Inhaling, inhaling, inhaling. Exhaling, exhaling, exhaling. Arms are raising, raising, raising. And lowering, lowering, lowering. And 1 more all the way up. And exhaling all the way down. Taking the left arm up only, lifting up high, high, high over your head. Reaching it clear over. Anchoring down through those lips. Breathing into it. Let's have 3 breaths right here. Engage that pelvic floor. You might press through the hips, find out where neutral spine is for you. Lengthen through the crown, keep breathing. 1 more breath. And inhaling, coming back to center, letting the arm come all the way down. We're gonna do 3 arms, both arms, inhaling, 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 exhaling, exhaling, exhaling. Inhaling, 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 exhaling, exhaling, exhaling. 1 more time. Inhaling, 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 exhaling, exhaling, exhaling. Do I need to close the windows?
No.
Inhaling the hand up, left hand comes up, or sorry, right hand for you all at home. Reaching over the body. Spin that heart open, lengthen through the crown, find your breath. Little bit of a counterplay here, lengthening through the crown, dropping out of your shoulder. 1 more breath. Inhaling, coming back to center, exhaling that arm down. 1 more time with the arms, both arms. Inhaling them up, exhaling them down. Inhaling them up, exhaling them down. Last one. Inhaling them up, exhaling them down. I really feel a twist coming in, so inhaling those arms out as if you're coming to 5-pointed stars, palms facing down. Let the energy hold the hands up as the shoulders drop down. Bring that belly button to your spine. Grow long in the crown, nice deep inhale, and then exhale as if you're going to bring the left arm to the front, the right arm behind you, and then allow them to go to the earth in your knee, encouraging the twist. So allow the twist to be slow, gentle, and coming from the base of your spine, and then through the mid-back, followed by your shoulders. Now let that nose go over that shoulder. Looking over your shoulder. This is a pretty deep opening twist. So do it very slowly, go long in the crown. It's a constant reminder to engage that core, deepen your breath, allow the twisting to happen on the exhale. Three more breaths. Notice what comes up for you. Twisting is a time for change and release. So if you have anything come up, notice it and allow it to move on through with no attachment. One breath. Excellent. Bringing the head back, only looking over that opposite shoulder. So now we have a counter pose twisting. We have our low back going one direction and our upper spine going the other direction. And for whatever reason, in my body, this feels so good. It's like, oh, we twisted, and now we're deepening the twist. Kind of like wringing out all the moisture out of a washcloth. Except I imagine that I'm wringing out any unnecessary business. Anything I no longer need to carry in my body. Nice deep breath in, slowly let the shoulders become soft and coming out of this twist. And then the low back, inhaling the hands up overhead. Exhaling them down. Notice how as you do this, how different the right side feels from the left side. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. One more time, inhaling up. Exhaling down. This time as you inhale up, engage that core. Stop at 5-pointed star, let the palms go down. Drop out of your shoulders. Engage that belly button back to the spine and begin the twist, bringing that right hand forward, left hand back. Dropping down, encouraging the twist. Let this happen through the lower part of the body first. And then allow the shoulders to drop down. And as you reach that full twist, begin to allow the nose to look over your shoulder. So this is your left side. Allowing the nose to really go all the way. So we're inviting this spine to twist the same direction. Inhaling, growing long through your crown, dropping out of your shoulders, exhaling, deepening the twist. On the next inhale, grow long in the crown. Exhale, bring your nose back over your right shoulder. Bringing it out. What comes up? What is released? I find that what comes up, generally the time of holding on to it has come. And it's time to acknowledge it and say, thank you for serving me. I no longer need your service. And let it float away into the ethers. Knowing that even though it's a memory and it's part of who you are, it is no longer holding you back. It's created a newness, a new way of approaching life. Nice deep inhale through the crown. Exhaling slowly, bring those shoulders. Now the low back. Bringing your head back to meet everything in the center, inhaling the arms up, exhaling them down, inhaling them up, exhaling them down. One more time. Inhaling the arms up, Exhaling them down, knowing that there's a time to move quickly and a time to slow down. It's interesting as we step through life how these times come and go. And sometimes when we're moving quickly, it's a time of rest that we really need to back off and let the energy around us swirl quickly as we are the calm in the chaos. We're the grounded entity. We're the grounded being, bringing the calm, bringing the power of stillness. Deep breath in. Gently move right into tabletop. We're going to be in tabletop for just 1 or 2 cat-cows, just to remind our body what it feels like to pass through the opening of the front body. So, inhaling, dropping down through the belly. Looking up. Exhaling, reaching the other way. Inhaling down. Exhaling up. This time as you exhale up, reach back as if you're going to sit back on your heels. You really won't. It's more of a lengthening through the back as it's arched to the sky. And then inhale back forward, flatten the back off. Find your power in tabletop. Power. See if your nose is pointed to the floor so that you can lengthen through the crown and draw the belly button to the spine. Almost as if you're a bench and somebody could actually come and sit on your back and you could support them. Regardless of how big they are, you have the power to come from your center to be strong. Inhaling, curling the toes under, coming into a half downward dog. So just halfway back, knees are bent, drop out of your head. We have a tendency to want to look forward, look for what's coming, but let go of the head. It doesn't matter. We're going to fully drop into half dog, fully present, and then inhaling up onto the tiptoes, lift up high, lengthen through the legs, let that tail go to the sky, and then exhale down through the right foot. So this is our first hamstring opener. What I'm looking for here is a squareness in the hips, even though the left knee is soft and the right heel is working towards the floor. Square up your hips and then press back into that heel. You're going to feel it all the way up the Achilles, through the back hamstrings, and even up into your low back. Just notice. And then inhale into half dog. Bend those knees, squat down, press back. And then lift up through the tail. Feel the difference in the right leg to the left leg and drop into that left heel. Again, squaring off the hips, allowing that heel to work to the floor. Feeling it come down, feeling it through the Achilles tendon. That looks really good. Hips are square. So it's really easy to let the heel go to the floor if we splay out of our hips. But what happens when we really honor the integrity of our hips being square? Find your breath. Inhale, exhale. Again, inhaling up and dropping back into half dog. So there's a little bit of work that happens here through the quads, through the hips. It's almost as if you're doing a squat, but it's really supported. Then lift up through the tail, lengthening down through both heels. So we're coming into full dog. Some people are going to be able to let their heels go all the way to the floor. This is something that is a lifelong goal of mine, to let my heels lay on the floor as I work into full downward facing dog. Simply doesn't happen in my body. I have really tight hamstrings. It's okay. It is what it is. Finding your breath in full dog. Notice that if energetically you allow your knees open to the little toes, it changes the posture just a little bit, supporting the deep tendons and muscles of the legs. Still breathing. 2 more breaths. Last one. Draw those heels together, open the knees, sink all the way back into child's pose. Whatever child's pose looks like for you. If you have any knee issues, honor them and don't sink back as deep, and just allow it to be what it is in your body. Nowhere to go, nothing to do. So we're going to do some hip work today, create some change from the center of our body so that there's a softness that can allow to happen in the outer part of our body. Inhaling, rising back up, hips come under, knees come underneath our hips, hands underneath our shoulders, curling those toes under and lifting the tail up high into downward facing dog. Really feel dog. Now, if dog is not with you today, tabletop is always a beautiful place to work from. You can do the same thing here. So notice how coming into dog this time is a little bit different. Dropping down into half dog. As you drop down into half dog, notice that the knees open just slightly to the little toe. So we're keeping the integrity of those knees directly under our hips. Feel the strength and the power in this supported squat. Inhaling, lifting up, dropping that right heel back to the floor. Left knee comes down. Square off the hips. So the work is in squaring the hips. Noticing, is your knee collapsing to the center of the body? What does it feel like as you lengthen through that right heel to twist that knee? And it's not so much a twist as an energetic opening, an engaging of the quadricep muscle that helps to straighten the leg. So it's less about pressing through the knee and more about allowing the heel to work towards the floor. Inhaling, sinking back into half dog, sink down. Really feel it. Feel the opening through the hips, lifting through the hips again, allowing that left heel to work. So same thing, a little slower, spinning the knees open. So it's an interesting phenomenon in the body. The body is here to support us. It's here to support what we ask it to do. So if we're asking it to do something that it's really compromised, notice how your toes change to support that. They'll splay out differently. They'll grip the earth. Notice what happens if you relax the toes and allow them to simply be your balance point. Nice work. Inhaling, sinking down. This time, we're going to exhale the tail straight to the sky, sinking into both heels, letting those arms work back, letting the heart work towards your knees. If your shoulders or wrists are talking to you and you need a child's pose, this is the place to do that. We're going to be here for 5 breaths. So it's a nice place to take a break. If you do choose to go to child's pose, open your knees, sink back, and let those arms really allow and lengthen. We've got 3 more breaths to go. Nice and slow. 2 more. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do. 1 more. Deep breath. Great job. Now, inhaling, we're going to lift that right leg up. We're not going to stay here, but 3-legged dog. Exhale it all the way up in between your hands. Help it if you need to. Coming into high lunge. Block users, this is the place to get your blocks. Sink straight down. Square off those hips. So at this point, would prefer that you're on your toe in the back leg. Square off the hips. So you can see that there's an opening that happens, but when you square them off, then both hip points are facing forward. Shoulders are down, lengthening through your crown, and sinking straight down into high lunge. Very, very, very important here that your knee is behind your ankle or over your ankle. If you're pressing in and your knee is before your ankle, it compromises that knee joint. It can really put a lot of pressure on those tendons. So I would rather have you further back than in front, okay? So feel the heat begin to build, find your breath, Still breathing, looking forward, but allowing the back of the neck to open. Deep breath, find your breath. Good job. So from right here, begin to lengthen through that front leg. It's a nice wide stance, okay? So this is what it looks like when you're in full lunge posture. Your back heel is working towards the floor. This really opens the Achilles. There's several ankle bones. You know, it's not, the ankle is not one bone. It's many bones coming into the foot. And so this really gives the tendons in between each one of those bones the ability to open. You're going to feel it in the hamstring of your back leg. I'm sorry, of your front leg. So that would be the right leg. Now, you can do the same thing in modified. Let me see if I can show you right here. And it looks like this. So if you have to modify it and come on your knee because it's too much in the ankle, that's okay. You can do this. You want to bring the ankle in, you can do it like this. Modify. Okay? Fine to do it either way. But if you have the space to do this, so we're still in this wide angle lengthening. Now, again, sinking straight forward, back into lunge. Now we begin to feel it in our psoas. That's deep in our belly of the left leg. Allow those hips to work down, breathing into it. So headed towards our favorite, twisting. If you're a block user, put your block right next to your foot. If you're not, let your hand come right next to your foot and spin open. This is a balance pose. If this is easier to do from modified, lower your knee and go for it. Find your breath, breathing into it, lengthening through your crown. Doesn't matter where you're looking, whether you're looking straight ahead, in the twist, if you're looking towards the ceiling, draw long in your crown. 2 more breaths. Inhale through those fingertips. Exhale, coming back down into high lunge right here. We're going to step the left foot forward. I have to think about it, and then I can do it. That is a great core movement right there. When you bring the foot forward, whether it's the left foot drawing up to meet the right or the right foot stepping into lunge, deep core movement. So now we're in standing forward fold. Drop out of your head. If you're looking forward, bring that chin in and allow the head to reach down for the floor. Notice the difference in the right leg to the left leg. Inhaling, coming halfway up. As you come halfway up, look at your toes. Are they even? If they're not, wiggle around so that the feet are parallel. Exhaling down. Inhaling, reverse swan dive. Here we are, up, standing tall. Exhaling those hands down, center line. So take a minute here. Feel the heat moving through the body. Grow long in the crown. Find your breath. Drop into standing Anjali Mudra. This is a recovery point right here. So we're going to do 5 half sun salutations. We're going to inhale, dropping down, circling the arms around. Exhaling, swan dive forward, all the way forward. Inhaling, halfway up. Exhaling down. Inhaling, reverse swan dive. Exhaling, hands down center line, and begin again. 4 more on your own. I'm going to grow quiet. Here we go. So we have one more to go. Wherever you are in your circle, complete it and do one more. Exhaling, hands to Anjali Mudra. Wherever you're at, we're going to wait for you. Find your breath. Feel those palms press towards one another. And as they do, the release happens between the shoulder blades. Softening through it. On the next inhale, drop those hands down, circle them around. Swan dive forward, hands fly onto either side of the feet. Step the right foot back, coming into left leg lunge. So, sink down into this. However wide you need to create for yourself is fine. Now, again, we're going to work through that left leg. Knee is over the ankle. Squaring off the hips, hip points working straight down. You're going to feel this in your psoas. Breathe into it. Notice if there's any holding in this left leg. Notice how it's different than the right leg. Left legs and right legs are always different. Left side of the body, right side of the body, always different. Just notice it. Allow the energy to work through the body the way it needs to in your body. Lengthen through your crown. Feel a long line of energy begin to run from the top of your head, down your spine, to your tail, down the back of that right leg, and then work through that heel. Breathe into it. Feel the energetic support that you receive. Now, lengthen all the way back, pressing back into that heel, lengthening through that front leg, squaring off the hips again. Now it becomes about strings in the back of the left leg and the Achilles tendon in the heel of the right foot. Can you feel it? Find your breath. Find where this posture begins to hold you. Rather than the struggle of the muscles holding, notice where the energetic body takes over and supports you. The core is softly engaged, the belly button is working towards the spine. Letting go of anything that we no longer need to hold on to support us, but allowing the energy body to support us. 2 more breaths. And sinking back forward into this high lunge. My body's saying, what? Right hand comes to meet the left foot, engage that core, and then as you're ready, spin open into twist. There it is. Find your twist. Sink down into it. Find your breath. Inhale through those fingertips, exhaling, coming back down. This time stepping back into downward facing dog rather than up into forward fold. So find your dog, sink back into it. Notice how the left heel and the right heel work towards the floor, and it's different than the first time we did it. Just notice. This is a great time to take a break in child if you need it. We're going to be here for 5 more breaths, so if you need a break before we move on, please do so. Otherwise, hang out in dog, let go of your head. Sink your heels to the floor, let that heart work towards your knees. Nice work. On the next inhale, we're going to begin to look forward, but we're not headed to plank. We're going to soften that right knee, and we're going to bring it straight forward with us, headed to pigeon. So as you come forward, this is a great place that if you have a blanket, you might grab it if you have trouble in your hips, and just kind of bring the floor up to you. Because the important thing in pigeon is to protect your knee, very first important thing. And then the second most important thing is keep your hips square. So what does that mean? It means that as you sink down, you don't splay off to the side, okay? You're gonna sink straight down. Now, if you want this deeper in your hip, you can bring this foot forward. Yeah, not happening in my body, but that's how you do it. And then you can change the depth of your blanket as your hips begin to open. So these are really affecting the deep rotators in the hip. All those muscles that support that round joint. Sink into it softly. Feel that psoas open. So as we lift up in pigeon, the psoas opens in the left hip and the right hip deep rotators. Now take a nice long inhale through your crown and exhale, lay down over that leg, straight forward, bringing your hands onto your elbows if you can. If you can't go to your elbows, then please don't. Please support your body. Remembering to keep that pelvis square. And there's a little bit of play of drawing that right hip back, left hip forward, finding your breath. Feel the heat. Feel the release in those hips. Nicely done. 3 more breaths. Very important that you honor your body. If your body's talking to you in a way where this no longer feels supportive, come out of it. This is a very deep posture. Deep release. On the next inhale, bring your hands back under your shoulders. Curl that back foot under. Exhale it. Experience pigeon one more time, and then exhale back into downward facing dog. I like to walk my feet out. Feel the difference. Left to right foot. Find your dog. Take a child's pose if you need to. We're going to be here for 4 more breaths. Opening it up. Great place to take a child. 2 more breaths. On the next breath, rejoin us into downward facing dog. And on the next inhale, begin to look forward, bringing that left knee forward, sliding it forward, finding your body, how deep this hip can allow you to go. Sinking back, I always have to encourage my body to walk back a little bit. And then bring that blanket under your hip to support this. We don't want any of this in pigeon. This leaning over does nothing except create some bad patterning. So we're looking for good, healthy patterning. I need a little more support on this hip to start with. And then sink straight down. Woo! Hello, hip muscles. Notice that as you draw down through your shoulders and grow long in your crown, you can sink those hip points forward and feel the right leg psoas open. Breathe into it. Nice long inhale. Exhale, roll over your leg. Roll all the way over. Elbows come down. Palms facing down. Lengthen through that crown. Again, feel that long line of energy from the crown of your head down your spine, down into your hips, following that right leg all the way to the heel. Good job. On the next inhale, begin to find your hands under your shoulders. Roll those shoulders back and down. Grow long. Give yourself a little extra back bend here. Engage that pelvic floor. Looking up with your heart. Exhaling, lowering down. Curling that back foot under and exhaling all the way back into downward facing dog. So sink into those heels. Let that heart move towards your knees. Find your breath. If you need to go to child's pose, you can do so. We're going to do 3 more breaths in downward dog, and then we'll go to child. But if you need a little extra, that's okay. 2 more. Last one. Draw those heels together. Open those knees, sinking straight back into child. So if you have a blanket on your mat, you might want to move it out of the way. Allow yourself to come all the way down. Whatever down into child's pose feels like and looks like in your body. Be mindful of your knees. This is a deep knee bend here. If you have knee injury, be mindful of it. Be honoring of it. Find your breath. Pour anything that you no longer need out of your thinking mind into the floor, into the earth. Give it to Mother Earth. She is here to support us. On the next inhale, rise up. We're going to come into sitting with our legs in straddle position. So find your sit bones and then open them up. So whatever that looks like in your body, just feel it. Take a hold of your, not your knees, but just above your knees. So this is where the adductor muscles actually attach. Okay? Feel those toes come up and then encourage those knees to roll back. So it's less about the knees and more about the femur. And what that's going to do is it's going to open all of these adductor muscles right here along the inside of the butt. Roll those shoulders back, lean them through the crown. Feel into it. Notice what's happening in the body. Now that you have that sensation, release the arms, see if the legs will stay. Here they are. Inhale, reaching over towards that right toe, and then bringing that left hand all the way up and over. Long line of energy from the left toe all the way up the left side body. Feel the left side. So what it's catching right across here and right through here. 2 small muscles that have big, powerful jobs. The glute medius, gluteus medius, and the tensor fascia. When we were learning these, we used to call them tens to herdonata. And the reason is that muscle attaches to the top of the IT band, the long outside of your leg tendinous sheath that, when tight, can cause all sorts of low back pain, knee problems. So this is opening that up. See if you can just reach that hand and feel it open through that space in your body. Good job. Inhaling, coming back up, and exhaling the other direction. Oh, this toe seems a little farther away for me. Just notice, is it easier, is it more challenging? Spin that heart open, lengthen through that right arm. Notice where in your body, where do you find openness? Where do you find resistance? It doesn't matter, it takes both. They work together. It's kind of like our light body and our shadow body. We have both. We have to embrace them both to be whole. Find your breath. Stay with it. Sinking down. Notice how the body begins to release as you embrace it. Embrace where it's at. Excellent. Inhaling, coming up. Hands both come up. Exhaling the hands down. So from right here in 5-pointed start, toes are up, rolling back, I'm up in my shoulders. If you're up in your shoulders, drop out of them, lengthen through the crown. Now lead with your heart, exhaling straight forward. If you can reach your toes, do that. If not, just let your hands come down on your shins. Some people are super stretchy and can reach those toes, which is really cool and amazing. Some of us are less stretchy, and we can reach our shins, which is also cool and amazing. Breathe into it. Inhaling, coming up. Excellent. So we have one more deep hip opener. You're all gonna love this. Bring your left foot in and kind of tuck it underneath. So it's almost as if when you square off, this is straight. And then bring the other foot over the top of it. Now, what this looks like when you can do it deeply is that the right knee is on top of the left knee. So in my body, it sort of looks like this. Taking a hold of just above the ankles to encourage this, growing long and strong. Start out here. Now, imagine both hip bones touching the floor. See if you can soften into that right hip and let this sit bone. Can you feel it? This is the posture. This is deep in those hip rotators. If you have knee issues, be mindful to not pull down on those knees. So it's a process of allowing the hips to soften down to the earth. So now when you have your sit bones where they're going to rest, head forward with the heart. Or not. Sometimes it's just an imagination. We imagine where we're going so that energy follows thought. Woo. Breathing into it. And then one day it opens and you walk through. Two more breaths. And inhaling, coming up, taking that top leg, put it in standing, bringing the other leg and put it in standing, and just take a minute and just give yourself some space there, and then bring that top leg so that now it's the bottom leg. And you might notice you can't go as deep with one side as you can the other. Not happening in this body. My left knee says, nope, this is it. So you just walk that foot out and it takes the pressure off the knee. Sink down into those sit bones, grow up nice and tall. Perfect. That's it. That's what it looks like in your body. Honor your body. Because the thing of it is that we've spent so much of our life worrying about whether we look like other people or what does this look. What matters is imagine what you want it to look like. And then be good with that vision. And then inhale, grow long. Exhale, if you have the space, head forward. If you don't have the space, keep embracing where you are. I have found as I grow older that my work is being okay with where I am. Not where I'm going, but where am I now? Breathing into it. Lengthening through that crown. Feel that spine grow long. Excellent. Inhaling, coming back up. Releasing that top foot into standing. The other foot into standing. Come back on your hands and gently rock side to side. Giving a little space and movement through those hip joints. Whew. Can you feel it? Yummy. All right, spinning around, coming down onto your back right here. Find that foundation. We're going to do one bridge. And I'm not going to do any more twisting because we've done some deep twisting today. But if you are welcome after bridge to do some twisting during meditation and motion, that'd be fine. Walk those feet in, lengthen through your crown, feel that pelvic floor draw up and the belly button to the spine. We've taken all of the curve out of our low back, and on the next exhale, lift up through that core, pressing through the feet. See if you can keep the hips soft. How long can they be soft for? And then inhaling, engaging the hips and lifting up into full bridge. If you want to clasp your hands underneath you, you may. What feels good in your body? Honor it. Find your breath. On the next inhale, exhale, lift up a little higher. Take it to the edge. Take it to your edge. Find your breath. On the next inhale, can you deepen it? If you cannot, that's perfect. Stay where you are. That's what I'm doing. I'm staying where I'm at. That's my work. Close your eyes, drop in, and as the body invites you to move, follow it. Follow the journey that the body takes you on. Leave the monkey in the other room. Leave that thinking mind elsewhere. Sometimes meditation in motion makes no sense. Sometimes it releases something you didn't even know you were holding on to. Oftentimes, there is no logic. It's just a movement and following. But when we get out of our own way, the journey that we go on is amazing. Remembering to continue to breathe. We're going to continue through meditation and motion for about 5 more breaths. So continue to follow the body while breathing. Two more breaths. And as you find your meditation beginning to wind down, in that last breath, find your way into knees to chest, rocking side to side. And then in whatever fashion feels good in your body, find your way into Shavasana, the last posture of the day. The integration of everything that we've done. And knowing that if lying on your back is uncomfortable, that you can bring your feet into standing, the width of the mat, and then drop your knees together. And feel all folding and work all into your mat, melting away. And the breath grows shallow as the mind slips away, not here, not there. Close your eyes, feel your heart. See what with your eyes closed, what your heart has to offer. Sit with it. Breathe into it. When we see the heart's true desire, honor our soul truth. Breathe, See with the eyes closed. Feel. Then move toward. We create. Our true nature. Satnam. And gently begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your tongue. Roll into your side. That's enough. Taking a nice deep breath in. Exhaling your hands down to your heart. Namaste.